Coleraine Borough Council and Derry City Council are working together on a competency framework. And I suppose what we in Coleraine have previously concentrated largely on is the technical aspects of jobs that people have been doing. And I think we've recognised that coming into the future, that's not going to be enough. We need to look at the entire job as well as the person who's in that job.
Well, it's really about identifying the competencies that are required for each job so that everyone knows very clearly what's expected of them and what local government will identify as the right skills, knowledge, attitude that they want their staff to have. We would like to, first of all, maybe look at introducing that at the recruitment and selection stage, and then using the framework throughout the employee's working life through their appraisal, personal development plans and learning and development strategy.
The likes of our Parks Department have been very successful over the last couple of years. We've won a few awards, Britain in Bloom, and we think that the competency framework will help those members of staff in the Parks Department understand the role that they're doing, how they can contribute better to the overall benefit of the borough, and both the visitors and people who live in the area will get the benefit from it.
Initially, we plan to develop a competency framework that can be used for all 26 councils and within local government. However, what Coleraine Borough Council and Derry City Council then intend to do is to develop it further to meet our specific needs and to incorporate into our recruitment and selection process.
This is a great opportunity for Derry City Council to be working collaboratively with Coleraine Borough Council. It's a new framework for us in terms of competency-based, not just for recruitment and selection, but hopefully we want to transfer it beyond that and actually use it as a management tool, because it's an obvious gap that we've identified throughout the process of looking at organisational development. But it's not just the sake of having a framework. We'll be able to apply this framework and use it in the context of the UK City of Culture. Having won this amazing award, we can now actually make sure that we have the most appropriately skilled people for these amazing job opportunities that are going to come our way. This framework will cut across all jobs within council, and if we can just maybe use the example of the Guildhall project, it's a major capital refurbishment project that we're involved in at the minute. So it's not just the capital work, but it's all the activity that will happen internally to that building. So it's the exhibition space, it's the tourism and the customer care and that service provision that we will give from that building.
It's important to have a competency-based framework in terms of recruitment and selection so that you're getting the best person for the job. I think that competency-based frameworks, it's good if the staff are briefed on it, they have a framework to follow, and that they're trained in competency-based interviews so that they can prepare to go for the interview and they can excel at, in the areas that they're trying to get coming across.
When we were approached by Derry City Council, we were very much in favour of getting on board. We have members both in Derry City Council and Coleraine Borough Council who are going to benefit greatly out of the project. In relation to the competency-based interviews, in the past we've had just normal 5 questions asked by the interview panel. There was never no hands-on. Some people found it very easy to get into an interview and were excellent at interviews, but they might not have been the right person or persons for the job. Where in relation to the competency-based interviews, it's 2 elements to the interviews. People who may not have can verbally actually go into an interview and express in relation to the job they're applying for. They may be able to do hands-on things, give a scenario of how they would actually approach a thing.
I went for a competency-based interview, but at the time there was no framework in place, so I can see from the other perspective as going for an interview that it's important that you have a framework for the organisation.
NIPS are delighted to be part of this pilot project because at the end of the day, competency-based frameworks and competency-based interviews are a thing in the future, and for the benefits for our members that they will be skilled up for future employment.
What we are finding as we move towards this age of austerity, which is the buzzword at the minute, we're finding that it makes more sense to work with neighbouring councils. It's a shared project, shared cost, but it's a shared problem and issue that we need to try and address and deal with. So from our point of view, we might as well work with somebody else and come up with a common and shared solution.